So another big game set to get underway at the SCG. Sydney coming out onto the ground. Two changes for them. McGlynn and Cunningham come into the side at the expense of Nick Smith, who is injured, and Adam Goods, who relegated himself from the team to play in the reserve to try and find some form, which he did in the NEFL. So a fine day at the SCG. Swans out on the ground. This is going to be a good battle, this one. The GWS Giants and the Sydney Swans in the Battle of the Bridge. And right now we're going to join our commentary team that includes Tony Shaw, Alistair Lynch, and is headed up by Dwayne Russell. Dwayno?
Thanks, Andy. Pleasure to be here at the SCG. I do have the three-time Brisbane Lions Premiership player Alistair Lynch and the Collingwood Premiership captain Tony Shaw with me, and they've got a good recent history, these two teams.
It's been fantastic. The most recent game, round 14 last year at the SCG, and it was the Sydney Swans that dominated. Then Josh Kennedy, he's got off to a good start this season. He was in great touch with 3 Brownlow votes last season. It was the Sydney Swans by 46, but it was a complete reversal in round 1, Shorey.
Yeah, Shane Mumford was dominant, and I think he might be that again today. He's in very good form. Looking forward to see how the GWS really cope this up-and-coming side up against a very, very senior side in the Sydney Swans.
Let's have a look at the lineup for the Sydney Swans, and as we just heard from Sandy, there's been 2 changes, and Dean Towers will start as the sub. The #1 contested football team in the competition, but their forward half with the potent forwards are still struggling to mark the ball, averaging they're ranked 18 in the AFL for marks inside forward 50 and 16 in the comp for marks in general.
I just love the look at the GWS spine. Phil Davis, Joel Patfell's been brilliant since he come across from Brisbane. Callum Ward, he just works in each week as the captain. Cameron and McCarthy have given some really good focal points, especially McCarthy. So looking forward to see how they go today. And you throw in Shane Mumford, he's just the anchor for it. And some of the younger players, Dylan Shield, ranked #1 in the AFL, boys. He is just a ball carrier that they really look up to. Jeremy Cameron, 7th for marks inside 50. Like to see him take some more contested mark. Adam Treloar just runs. He's a hard nut. Runs hard also. 9th for score involvements. And that man they recruited, Ryan Griffin, 8th for score assists. He just gets through the lines and creates for his teammates.
Let's have a look at some of the key players for the Sydney Swans. And Josh Kennedy, we just mentioned before, he's #1 in the competition for contested possessions and #1 for clearances. His partner in crime, coming off a best and fairest last year, Luke Parker, 5th in disposals, 3rd in contested possessions in the competition. Franklin, his best work's been the defensive side of his game so far this season, yet still sits 7th on the goal-kicking ladder. And Daniel Hannabury's off to a flyer on career-high pace so far in the season for disposals, clearances and tackles. So there's a bit of talent there, Shorey, in both teams.
Oh, fantastic. Looking forward to it as we go to the toss of the coin here.
Kieran Jack and Phil Davis. And Phil Davis wins the toss and decides to kick to the right of your screens as we welcome Sydney Premiership captain as well, Barry Hall.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Well, beautiful conditions down here at ground level. Absolutely perfect. Some dark clouds are starting to loom, but let's hope the rain stays away and doesn't affect this game of football. The Sydney Swans' point of view, look, they're going to have a tilt for the title again. They're going to be premiership favourites. After a pretty good form last week, they're going to be top 4, but it's more about GWS today. Can they put 4 quarters together? We know their good is really good. Can they do it consistently enough? 4-quarter performance, which I think they can do today. I reckon they can scare the Swans. I reckon it's going to be a pretty good game of football, Dwayne.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll need to get out of the blocks pretty fast. So we can go back to round 1 last year, and it was really interesting to see the Giants come out of the blocks really well. But Phil Davis did a great job on Buddy Franklin. It's not too often you come across a team that has 2 players well equipped to go with Franklin. And as you mentioned before in the lineups, Joel Patfell has done a job on Franklin in the past.
Yep.
Dave's will most probably get the job to start with, but you can be sure they'll interchange with that role on Franklin because he covers so much ground.
There he is, Lance Franklin. He was looking ominous in the warm-up. 6 goals so far this year for Lance Franklin. They've got a potent forward line. There's the man who'll probably get the matchup, and we'll keep an eye on those matchups for you. Joel Patfell, Phil Davis. Massive job for the Greater Western Sydney Giants defence this afternoon.
Dwayne, it's an amazing stat, though. Worst side inside 50 for taking marks at the moment. Only 2 rounds of the year, but you think with Tippett and Franklin, you'd be up there, probably one in top 3 or 4 at least, but they're the worst, equal worst in the comp, 5 average.
Yeah, only took 5 marks against Port Adelaide in a fantastic display. We just see here the big forwards. There's Pike and Franklin involved there. Kurt Tippett's going to start in the ruck for the first bounce up against former Swan Shane Mumford.
2 undefeated teams. This is 2nd and 3rd on the AFL ladder, head-to-head, and a a good crowd in here to see the two New South Wales teams go at it. Nice little flick down Mumford early against his old team. Got the Brownlow votes when they beat Sydney in that round 1 clash last year. Cornelio, good hands.
Great grab, and it is Patfull has gone to Franklin to start the game.
And Mumford throwing his weight around. And it's in Mumford's direction. Should get there. Scully. Good tackle and dropped Whitfield.
It wasn't a great option for Mumford to give off to Scully, who was under pressure straight away.
Crowder into this early, and Jetta, he's in good form. 20 possessions, 2 goals last week, and it's on behind play. Franklin's dragged down, and
It's gone against Franklin.
Oh, it's up the field, so he's already got in his head, Joel Patfull, in Buddy Franklin's head. The umpire said it's back to where that ball was kicked, so it'll go back into the centre of the ground.
Now, Ben McGlynn, he may not have got that, but at the very least it would have gone over the boundary line, 160 metres from goal. Turnover, big turnover.
Green, can they capitalise? Cameron leads short, he's about to be run down. Gone.
Cold.
Come on, you've got to kick the ball inside 50 at the SCG. Smaller ground.
And now Franklin gets his chance to sit on ahead. He's up there. And he puts it over the line.
And that will no doubt be a tactic. Davis will be looking to drop off his direct opponent to get in front of Franklin, allow Patfull to come over the back. That's why Davis's man needs to be used.
Tippett doing the ruck work. Mumford with him. Good palm down Mumford, but missed his mark. Jack missed his mark. Parker dumped Patfull out of the way. Kennedy in great form at the moment, and he's always in good form. We'll get a ball in.
I think at the SCG, though, even if you go wide and get a stoppage, it's better to get the ball inside 50 and then try and hem it in, because it is such a wide ground. And just the hesitant nature of not wanting to kick it inside 50 doesn't help you.
Coming off a 36 possession game last week, Josh Kennedy. Cornelio gets it from Griffin. It's the half forward. Reid down there. Got it away from Green. Struggled early last week, Sam Reid. Failed to have a kick in the first half. The two coaches looking on, hoping their matchups are right early. I'll bring you a few more of those shortly as well. Good tackle on Kennedy.
That's ball.
Yep, had to be.
They'll look to go inboard instantly, but if that's closed off, they've got to go long with this kick.
Cornelio.
The only thing, Tippett's back into that space now off the ball.
A handball to Shaw. That's Shaw versus Shaw this afternoon, and that was perfection to Cameron.
Well, that's the old look-away fakers in basketball terms, Dwayne, because he looked like he was going to kick the ball long, but just lowered his eyes beautifully. And I agree totally what you say there, Lynchy, that if you're going to turn the ball over, turn it over deep in your forward line so you maybe get a stoppage, but they've turned it over twice in the midfield by trying to invent something. On that occasion, he sure invented something beautifully.
Yeah, good use.
Just the one goal last week for Jeremy Cameron. This is massive for momentum early. Struck it okay. Hit it thin.
Just feel when you're taking on one of the superpowers of the competition over the last decade, you need to take your chances. Very young, inexperienced midfield. They want to put scoreboard pressure on.
Lloyd. Rampy. Caught a little high. Umpire let it roll. Smith gets it out to Kelly. Shaw. Laidler. Gary Rowan. If it bounces kindly. Had to wait. Tried to be clever. Still works.
Swans.
Hanbury dumped. Back to Lloyd. Tippett 1-on-2. Ball hits the deck. Heaney. And he nails it. How good is this kid?
A very similar goal to what he kicked late in the game against Essendon in round 1. He's a very special player. Just composure under pressure, and there's a lot of pressure out there in this game. Very important game for both teams. Contest down the front. Tippett made enough of a contest to be a great reference point for Heaney, but the composure of this young man in game 3 in his AFL career, which may go for a while, I'm suspecting, that is a very good goal. Great goal. First one to the Swans. They lead by 5 points early.
2 games for 2 wins for Isaac Heaney, yet to get a NAB Rising Star nomination. You'd reckon there's one not far away. Kelly, slick hands, Shaw, dumped by McVeigh. Lloyd, they're hunting now, the Swans. Hanbury short. Franklin.
That was good play by Kurt Tippett there. They're going to be probably 2-on-1 a lot because they're floating up the ground, the Sydney Swans, for some of their medium forwards. But you just got to try and compete against that too. You might have a hard day at the office, but you'll set up goals at ground level like Heaney kicked then.
Shaw kick smothered, McVeigh off the deck. Scully. Family up to see the 2 boys, your nephews today, Shorey?
Yes, they've travelled up. The father, the sister-in-law, brother, the whole family's up here, Dwayne.
Okay,
we'll do a fair bit on the pub trade, I would think.
Yeah, we'll let you depart soon after the bounce. Shaw gets it out on cue. Whitfield. And here's in good form, Cam McCarthy.
And really hard running to find that space.
Callan Ward. Open forward line. Keeps it low. Cameron, well, he's already had a sighter from this exact spot.
Well, he hasn't had to break stride for his 2 leads and marks. The first one from Shaw, and then Callan Ward just hit him.
Well, I think that's the matchup with Rampke. I think they just got lost in play because Teddy Richards went to him in the first few minutes of the quarter, boys. So we'll just have to see what happens there. I don't think Rampke can handle him.
Cameron just checking the stitching on the Sharon. See if it's a left-hander or a right-hander. And he's got it. They're back in front, GWS.
Let's have a look at that work rate of Cam McCarthy to find the space on the far wing. And this is where it's really important for a high half forward, centre half forwards. Now we see through the middle of the ground his work rate out in front of Sam Reid. Now Sam Reid works hard to close the gap, but honoured with a really nice pass. That's what you need to do. You can't just expect that it's going to be nice pass up the line. And there's the result, hitting Jeremy Cameron, who did kick truly and put one through from 50 metres out.
Free kick off the ball in the Swans forward line, and it's going to the Giants and Mumford.
He's received the most free kicks in the competition, Shane Mumford.
And launches it long. Where's McCarthy? Back of the pack. Cameron crashed it well as well. Kelly kept it alive. Whitfield centering ball. Oh, good puck over the almost. Not quite Treloar. Off the deck though, that'll do. Not quite.
Adam Treloar appealing to the umpire. Said, I had a fair chunk of that one. It looked like he did.
Pike.
He's got extra numbers here, the Swans. They could use this wisely. They could run it up.
Cunningham back in with Adam Goods out, of course, electing not to play today. Adam Goods played in the kneeful, if you didn't hear earlier, and it did okay. Kicked a couple of goals. Parker. Cord.
Oh, cold.
Grundy. It's got Reid. Grundy. Richards. Rampier's target. Quick delivery from Rampy to Bird. He's got a few running for him. Heaney. Half volley wasn't quite there. Pike and Mumford clash heads.
Good hands.
Ames got it from Shaw. To Scully. This is good movement here. Cameron leads back. Delightful.
I tell you what, Teddy Richards, it's not his fault. You've just got to ask your midfielders, can you put some pressure on coming through the corridor? I cannot go back and forward all the time, not knowing where the ball's coming in from, because the Sydney Swans midfielders just have no pressure at all on the ball carrier at the moment.
That was good use from Tom Scully.
Yeah, it was.
Could have blazed away at times, can miss the target. Really well weighted pass.
Almost the same spot he kicked from, and he misses this one.
You've got to take those chances. I think Lynchy said it before. You're playing against one of the best sides in the competition. They're going to have their 10 to 15 minutes where they get to have a chance to score. You have to make them.
Well, the Giants are dominating possession at the moment, but the clearances are 4-1 in favour of the Giants. They're doing a hell of a lot right, but they've got to make it count.
Sydney Swans premiership captain Barry Hall on the boundary line. Cornelio dragged down. Cameron, in theory, could have 3 goals to this point. Threw that away, did Ward. Got away with it. Shield jumped on.
By 4.
They did that last week. Their tackling was awesome last week, the Sydney Swans against Port Adelaide. Had 76 tackles for the game, which is pretty high. Jack. Davis. Ward. Haynes. Shaw. Extra man back for the Swans, Reid.
Yeah, he was waiting for someone to present his Shaw, but in the end he had to just blaze away long, cause the turnover long, if anywhere.
Tippett.
Gee, they've clogged up the centre of the ground well, GWS. They know the Sydney Swans like to get a switch and get out to the wide side of the ground.
Shaw drops back in the hole, did well, body on the line, then got a possession. Phillips scrambles to Smith. Griffin.
Oh, hands.
So Green can hit a target. Mumford short. Manhandled a little. Hits the deck. Scully. Back to Green. Shrugs. Good smother of the handball. Good. Hanbury after Lloyd put his body on the line. Still comes out. Devon Smith. Across the face. Out of bounds might be a win here for GWS. It rolls and they'll get a ball in.
Good intensity early from both teams. Tackling pressure been immense.
Phillips, good knock to Kelly. Touch ball. Rampy. Going to have to play on. Grundy. And that's a good plaque, Parker. Wasn't really his ball, McVeigh, and now they run. McGlynn back into the lineup this week. His first game for the year. Franklin, no one's in the goal square. He goes for home and brings the house down.
And that's why you have to take your chances at the other end, because there's a big fella up there that runs it right and kicks it from a long way out. And this is what the Sydney Swans can do. They can transition from deep defence.
Now, lockdown, you can see this, Lynchy. Franklin, Patfell's got great positioning. He had to ask Davis to block him off, maybe, but he allowed him to get back in the corridor. He had to block him there because the leg speed, he hasn't got his leg speed. That is a superstar in action then. And they tried to do most of the things right, but they allowed him back in the corridor.
Really good point, Shorey, and that's where you should be happy to concede a free kick 90 metres from goal by sitting Lance Franklin
on his backside.
Absolutely, because he gets goal side, you're in all sorts of strife.
Well, GWS could be 4 straight, and the Swans are 2 goals straight. McCarthy.
Gee, good work ethic.
It's been a nice find.
Oh, that's not.
Not so good. Wrong time to praise him, McVeigh.
He's done everything else right.
Well, work ethic's a bit different than kicking.
Big switch on. No.
Shaw, body on the line again.
Yeah, well done from Heath Shaw. Was it last year? Sure, he got back with the fight of the ball and got smashed here at the SCG.
He's hurt himself too.
Yeah.
So it was shoulder.
Shoulder or ribs. He goes back. This is fantastic courage. In the ribs, I reckon he's copped one.
Yeah, he was choked during the week. He had no memory of being here. It was a bit like some of the nightclubs he'd been to, he suggested. Laidler.
As long as he suggested that.
Yeah.
I think he did. The 2 short boys faced the press and were quite entertaining. It was like a comedy act.
Oh, he's
Cameron's chance. It's no one in the square. Rampy gets back. He loads up from a long way out.
Geez, he's having an influence. That's his 5th kick. I think 4th shot at goal. 1 goal, 3 he's kicked.
Here's Reese. Lloyd. Hanbury.
Oh, sure again.
So Reese kicks to Jetta, and he does want to run. Franklin's short, ignored, goes to Parker. Oh, Cornelio's going to have to get back. Oh, won't matter.
Well, that's what you can do at the SCG if you hit the corridor. How quickly that moved from the full-back area after the point. And they have a shot within 10 to 15 seconds.
Phil Davis. Callan Ward.
Speaking of injuries, he had a very severe injury after round 1 or during round 1 last year.
Yeah, Phil Davis injured his kidney. That was against the Swans in that GWS win.
Just about 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah. An amazing win that was. It was in lightning, rain, delay of the game, in the middle of the game. Phillips almost pulled that in. Palmer breaks free. Tumbles one towards goal. Will it work? Didn't quite skip over Reed.
Well, missed the target.
That skips over Lloyd.
Big year for Sammy Reed. Big year to just see where he's going to show his improvement. He looks like he's going to play a fair part of the year in defence, you would think, but still, even though a premiership player hasn't found his niche, I don't think just think he's going to be in their best 22 all the time.
He only had a 3-kick, 2-mark grand final as well. It wasn't his best grand final, mind you. There was a few Swans off on grand final day last year.
I think the short, they found the target there. The short and more importantly the long-term plan would be to have him key defence. With Grundy and Richards getting to the latter stages of their career, he's going to have to stand up, down, back.
Good knockdown. Shield short and just within range. Reece Palmer perhaps.
His best goal-kicking season last year, in probably his best year since winning the NAB Rising Star in his first season for Fremantle. And he's worked his way into being a bit of a goal kicker in the last 12 months, Dwayne.
And he'll finally crack the 100-game barrier next week against the Gold Coast. Reece Palmer. And this to put the GWS back in front. 17 minutes gone, opening quarter. Good crowd, good quality contest. Not quite. Had their chances. Might get another one here. Lloyd just pulled it in. Rampy nowhere to go. Back to Lloyd. It's their new runner from defence, and he hits Jack lace out.
Oh, Gary Rowan's by himself.
Didn't see Rowan. McLean. Heaney. Little fumble, got one high and
Gets one high.
Yeah. Umpire just waited to see if there was an opportunity for a play onto advantage. There wasn't.
Had his head over the ball. Thomas Bugg just copped him a little high.
Haven't seen him the last couple of weeks, Isaac Heaney. Don't know the story. He's a Swans Academy pick. Only paid pick 18 for him. Quality local product and very calm under pressure.
He's a very impressive young player, but the thing that's starting to show up, the ability of the Swans to transition from deep defence. Here's a free kick from Bugg, just tapped him on the top of the head. Not a lot in it.
Nearly led with his own head, didn't he?
Yeah,
And put himself into the area of concern, I would think.
He
ducked his head in.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in that one.
No.
Bugg's probably, I think Bugg actually tried to be quite careful in the contest there, but regardless, Heaney had the opportunity, and unlike GWS, Heaney went back and kicked a really nice goal from long range. Two goals from his first two disposals of the game, Isaac Heaney.
Greater Western Sydney have had more scoring shots, but they don't have the lead. Treloar breaks free. Long goal square. Devon Smith back there beaten for it by Laidler.
We're talking about transition. You know, Sydney Swans, they've gone inside 9 times. GWS rebounded 7 times out of that area via the defence of Sydney Swans.
Yeah, this is the
Here
concern.
it goes again.
Yeah.
Heaney the target. Haynes got a fist on it. Heaney's second effort, superb. Jack smothered. Devon Smith, well, he loves a goal.
Spun the wheels.
Yeah, second thoughts there.
Well, he slipped. His foot, that was supposed to be on the ground, just slipped up from under him.
Grundy on to Cunningham. Bird.
Well, they're keen to take on the corridor through the cricket wicket.
GWS forwards have to really be quicker in their transition to get back, and even push up 20 metres to try and stop that flow through the corridor.
Laidler to Hanbury.
This is too easy.
Pike.
Oh.
Chaos ball inside 50 and good mark. Dropping back. Griffin.
great mark from Griffin to go back with the flight. Just a bit of a simple mistake made there by Pike. Contested possessions well and truly in favour of GWS, just not been honoured on the scoreboard as yet, and probably just on the outside. So clearances and contested possessions. Now remember that the Swans are #1 in the comp for clearances and contested possessions, and they're well and truly matched and eclipsed at the short early stage of the game by the Giants.
Pike, Hanbury, Reid, Jetta. Here's Franklin, one-on-one, front spot, not quite. Just bounced off his chest, or maybe Patfull got a hand in there. Right time. Core bumped out of it.
That bounced off his chest.
Rowan. Good scramble. Patfull. Whitfield his outlet. And Scully content to take it out.
A good call. That was a great contest from Franklin and Joel Patfull. Franklin did some good early preparation work, got Patfull off the contest, but then the closing speed for Patfull to get a fist in late was very important.
And a good pick-up. Two-time Brisbane Lions best and fairest. Hanbury to the square, over Tippett's head. Davis had the runner.
Well, he hasn't now. Trouble here.
Kelly shrugs, does well, got a legging free.
Well, he did well there, Kelly, because it was a 2-on-1 situation, so he had to maintain possession. A free kick was really handy.
Haynes. Davis. Bug.
You want to be good.
Oh, stolen back. Brilliant, Hanbury.
Want to be good.
Absolutely magnificent.
Well, that is the one thing about Phil Davis at times. I think it's premeditated. You can see he looks in the area, like you can sell the dummy a little bit a couple of times with your head to say, look, you look there, but then you say, I'm not going there, then kick it late. He just sold that straight away, and Hanbury read it magnificently, Dan Hanbury. Yeah, the ball luckily came back to that area where he spoiled to just go on his left foot. Could have gone on the boundary side, but I just think that was then Phil Davis is giving it up too early about where he was going to kick the ball.
Yeah, great goal from Dan Hanbury. We just saw the pass from Phil Davis. Just put Thomas Bugg under the pump. He had to stop and prop. Hanbury was too good.
Mumford and Pike. Mumford down to Shield. Missed it with his toe. Jack. Bird. Plays for the high. Doesn't get it. Does get it.
Yeah, it goes against, I think, Tom Scully, I think, who was reaching over the top. Again, not a lot in it, but Swans get the free.
This is the spread. The spread is really hurting GWS, whether it's off half back or just around the ground.
Jetta. To McVeigh. Got there for the bounce. Shaw spent that before it earned it. Flicks it over his head. Gets away with that. Bird. Hanbury just beyond his range. Sits it up. Franklin. Holds that one.
The push off against Patfull. Got the fend into the chest.
Took off. Time to steady. Touch ball. It won't count. If it's a goal, only be a behind.
There seems to be a hole opening up in the middle of the ground, Shorey. So it's like the GWS forwards aren't getting deep enough in defence to close things up. So there's easy targets in the sort of defensive half of the centre for the Swans. Too many easy possessions.
Oh, good smother as well off the boot of Core.
Well, if it goes in one side to the forward line of GWS, if you're not a player involved in having a shot at goal, you're going to push back into the corridor for the one coming out. It's premeditated to do it. Probably even a kick before the ball goes in their forward line.
Ball knocked down to Parker. Inside to Hanbury. Had some space initially. Feeds it back out. And got one for in the back.
I have another. It was probably just outside his range.
Oh.
That is. Well, that was silly. Unlucky to get away with that.
Just a quick one, Lynchy. Kieran Jack's gone down the race. Just a bit of a cut under his chin. He's going to stitch that up. I'm sure he'll be back in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm sure a couple of quick staples into the chin.
Already got one, Dan Hanbury. And this for a 21-point margin. Feeds it back all the way into the post.
Hanbury's off to a flyer, as you said. He's already kicked one goal. The rush behind there, he's had 11 disposals, 5 contested possessions, a couple of clearances. So he's working hard in the clearance aspect for the Swans, but the Giants still lead comfortably.
Yeah, coming off that 28 possession 2-goal game last week. Dan Hanbury out on the full from McCarthy's boot. Reid about to send the Swans back inside 50. Tippett and Franklin, and he splits the middle. Patfull.
2 goals, 1 from defensive change to kick goals, the Sydney Swans, and there's another intercept. So they're just on top at the moment. And you're right, Lynchy, that middle of the ground, you need somehow to push down the line. I think you've got to throw a couple behind the ball for till the end of the quarter, just to stem the tide, get together at quarter time and have a talk about those issues.
I think your initial point was spot on. The forward's got to react a lot quicker to go defensive mindset.
Kennedy's free. Franklin leads back into the corridor. Heads for Tippett and Callum Ward. Amazing courage.
Oh, boy, he's down 2, boys.
He's up again, though.
Oh, he's tough.
Well, lucky he's got a cement head, as per his nickname, but that is great courage. Again, we've seen Heath Shaw go back with a flight. Now the skipper in Ward.
Parker caught, slung. Shaw scrambles a kick outside 50. Reid hunts it down. Bumped by Cameron, and he gets it out with a minute left on the clock.
Let's have a look at Ward going back with the flight. As we've said, something we've seen a couple of times already.
Oh, that's me.
And he's being
and no free kick. No free kick there.
Big 6'9" ruckman comes forward in Kurt Tippett, and an accidental elbow on the back of the right ear.
And hit the ground almost as hard. Smith, a roller. McCarthy tried the clever flick on, didn't quite get it to work.
And let me tell you, Dwayne, we've all been in that position. Everybody feels fear. It's just whether you keep your technique right to keep your head up. It doesn't look bad on the TV.
Yeah, that's right. There's a couple of deep breaths going back.
I reckon the second of pain you go through is a lot better than the lifetime of embarrassment you wear.
Yeah, better to lose your head than duck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tippett, well, he tried to set that up for Franklin. Treloar, Griffin, Bug, Mumford, the scoop on. Shield got there, couldn't find a target. Jenner.
Oh,
he waited there. Mumford beelined him. Late chance for the Giants. Bug.
Treloar's over the top.
Green. Treloar. Devon Smith. No one to kick too long. Griffin. Just sits it up, hoping for Phillips to go up. Got a hand on it, Phillips.
I reckon he only got one on it because Pike had his other hand.
Yeah.
Or Grundy rather.
Grundy it was.
Should have had a free kick. Let's have a look at the last 10 minutes disposals, and very much in favour of the Sydney Swans, and it's probably the quality of disposals.
No doubt.
As well. Time and space, just a little referral here.
Score review.
Score review.
Is that it hit the behind post and it's a boundary throw in. Can you just please check to make sure it did hit the behind post and it wasn't a behind?
I think the Giants will be looking for a decision review on the holding free kick to Phillips, but obviously you can't do that. Just see here, but it touches the post.
I don't like backing up key forwards. Do we see it? Yeah. Oh, you couldn't really make that, could you? Not for this angle. The boundary umpire's right there, so he's got the best view. You should go with his call, I think.
Back the umpire in.
And they have.
Back into play. Chance here for just a crazy free or a quick snap. There's your crazy free.
Nice. Nice, Dwayne. Giants will be looking forward to this. They don't play on. He doesn't want to do that. And this would narrow the gap to 10 points and get it back to where it really should be. The Giants missed too many shots early in the game. Jeremy Cameron, the main offender, need this one.
Everybody in the stadium knows GWS need this one. Everyone at home watching. And those hoping for a contest know GWS need this one. And they don't get that one. And unfortunately for the Giants, 1 goal, 6 for the quarter. Had they kicked 6 goals, 1, they'd be in front. The Sydney Swans lead at quarter time at the SCG by 15. time at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and the home team, the Sydney Swans, 4-3-27 by 15 points. The Giants won 6-12. And in some ways, it was the Isaac Heaney show in the opening term as we look at the scores and the goal kickers to quarter time. Kicked a couple, Isaac Heaney. Hanbury 1 and Franklin 1. Hanbury 12 possessions for the term.
Just a great quarter of football, Dwayne. GWS didn't take their chances early, but Sydney Swans, look at the contested possession. GWS, they're getting the ball inside 34-22. So plus 12 to GWS just shows they're winning it inside, but not converting inside 50 and not defending coming out.
Barry Hall downstairs, had a look from your angle, Barry.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Well, we've been hearing a lot about Isaac Heaney in the last couple of weeks, and rightly so. He's been fantastic in his first year of football. Obviously, he's got a really big tank. He's got a nice set of wheels on him, very quick. But this is a work rate you want to see from a first-year player. Look at him at the half-forward flank here, getting in the good spots, and most importantly, as I said, a first-year player, look at the finishing skills of this young man. Yes, he's quick. Yes, he's agile. And he obviously puts his head over the footy as well, but his finishing skills have been the thing that's really impressed me. In the top 5 score involvements in the first quarter, he leads the charge, this young man. He's got every bit of rap on him at the moment, and rightly so. Look, he's quick, he's agile, he's hard, and he's certainly a Sydney favourite at the moment. I'm loving the look at this kid.
Well, in some ways, he's keeping Adam Goods out of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Isaac Heaney looks like he's going to be a very good player for a long period of time. Only very early in his career, game 3, but he just has the composure, as Baz said, the work rate, puts his body in the right position, but has great composure in front of goal. So an exciting young man to see, a real bonus at pick 18 in the draft.
Second term about to get underway. Phillips to start in the ruck for the Giants, and Pike for Sydney. Little pick up. Kennedy was good, but he couldn't dispose.
Yeah, Kennedy's struggling to find any space. Only had 3 disposals, 2 kicks, 1 handball, as Buddy Franklin starts the second term on the Pine. This is really important for the Giants. Again, they've been dominant in contested possessions and clearances, as Shorey said, but if the Sydney get the ball, first possession here, they don't let them out.
Mad scramble. It's nice to see a little bit of mud on the ground for a change.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. There's a little bit out there.
Just a couple of little divots.
All right.
Not 70s or 80s mud. Just
They have had a fair bit of rain up here during the last couple of weeks.
2015 style AFL mud. Heaney, oh, that was slick to Jack from 50.
Chisel.
Bazza.
Well, Buddy Franklin was down the rooms at quarter time, boys, and he came up late. That's why he's starting on the bench in the second quarter. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not sure what the issue is at the moment. Maybe he's a little bit tight.
Phillips. Second grab, he's held that.
Was a fingertipper in the end.
This is a big area for Phillips going in the ruck with Mumford, boys, because they might just wear down Mike Pike here, which means that Sydney might have to change a bit of their setup around the ground.
They brought Phillips in for this game. Didn't play last week. Andrew Phillips been on the list a few years, since 2010. Almost the turnover. Reece Palmer is the turnover. Devon Smith to set it up. Cameron led short. Smith ignores it initially. Wanted the 1-2 with Mumford. Kelly. Still want to blaze away and waste it. Palmer.
They were Grundy's to spare deep.
Kelly. Whitfield goes up with a fist. Bird read it well. Hunted down by Griffin. Laidler hunted down. Work rate, and they should go from it.
Well, and that's what we spoke about, Shorey, about their ability to hold the ball in the forward 50. Sydney were rebounding far too easily. On this occasion, there's a lot of pressure, and good to see the young man, Lockie Whitfield. He was the one with the closing speed and wrapped up the tackle beautifully on Laidler.
I thought Griffin was the one that set it up, though, because he chased down and you could see the want in making the first tackle to make this spillage. And then Laidler, that's a new interpretation. You take a couple of steps, get caught, and it just floats out.
Third season for Lockie Whitfield. He's the one Giant many expect to jump into elite class in the next 12 months, and he slots it.
the former #1 draft pick from the Dandenong Stingrays. He's a really impressive young player. His uncontested work is probably the highlight, and we see where he's positioned in uncontested possessions in the competition. He's got a lot of teammates that'll get the ball out to him from inside. His polish on the outside is going to develop over the coming years, but he's a really classy player. Had an outstanding pre-season and enters 2015 in really good nick. He's had some injuries in the past, but looks very fit now.
Won the Lark medal a few years ago for the best player at the under-18 championships. And as a #1 pick, you're kind of the best player in your age group, in essence. But there's a big difference between being the best in your age group at 16, 17 and actually making the transition. So many haven't been able to. Phillips. Helicopter.
Grab that.
Green did well on the crumb. Not so well on the kick.
I was just thinking sometimes the helicopters are the best kicks in for a forward, because the defender, if you kick it right, they read it better. But on that occasion, they did get a front and centre on it.
Don't try and defend your traditional kicking style, sure.
Oh, well, I did it my whole career. Just,
McVeigh. Collingwood Premiership captain Tony Shaw with us this afternoon. Cam McCarthy bends it back to the hot spot. Not a lot home for GWS. Cameron's got 3 to beat here. Tried to flick down. And he pushed off high.
I tell you, there was a decent old spray from Adam Treloar on young Cam McCarthy for kicking the ball around his body instead of dishing off a handball.
Bird.
Again, this is the challenge. Sydney looked to go back into the corridor. At the moment, GWS have blocked that up, forced wide. So that's a win.
Richards. Gary Rowan turned Kelly inside out, and he didn't complete the deal. Toes it off the deck, and that'll stay alive. Unkind in the end. Gary Rowan was subbed out last week late in the game. Didn't have a massive influence. Of course, Adam Goods came on late as the sub in a game they had in their keeping at that stage, the Swans. Davis. Franklin's back on.
Massive players back at this stoppage. Buddy Franklin on the move. He's looking to get involved.
Just gliding across the ground at the moment, Lance Franklin, threatening. Pike. Across the face. He looks fit, Lance Franklin, and determined. Short to himself. Haynes. Backing back Whitfield. Good contest, got it to ground at least. In fact, it was Core who backed back and got it to ground. And we'll get a ball in.
Two coaches, John Longmire and Leon Cameron. Both look very anxious at this early stage of the second term.
Second year for Leon Cameron, 16th with 6 wins last year, and expecting a better season this year. Parker, little fend off. Franklin, Patfull right with him side by side. Canelio, the roadblock. Green, Cunningham. McVeigh. We thought about turning Bug inside out and going. Is he within range?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think he's going to have to kick this from 55, be just outside the range. He might pull this one to the top of the goal square.
Sits it up across the face, and Mumford got back like good ruckmen do. And made sure of that last 2 metres over the behind line.
He's played some great games with the SCG. Probably all of those in the Sydney Swans jumper, but he's been a fantastic ruckman up here in New South Wales.
He was a bargain pick. They got him for pick 39 because they, in essence, had to make a bit of room for Lance, and a couple of changes. Devon Smith long. Phillips, good contest. Here's Mumford on cue, couldn't quite get to Laidler. Lays a bit of a tackle on Rampy, put him under some pressure. Mumford again goes in hard, and he's jumped on and wins a free.
And again, up to the end of round 2, Shane Mumford was the #1 player in the competition for free kicks for. I think we'd associate Big Shane with the free kicks against, but he gets a few as well.
Shaw, better delivery man, hits the spot hard. McCarthy, Reid got up too.
Just want to see if we had a carbon copy of the first quarter here, boys. I thought the Swans, halfway through the quarter, just started to get control. So again, GWS are just searching, just pushing through in the inside 50. They've got to make these count here early.
Parker, Pike, Reid, Hanbury. Scrambles it wide. Bug, manhandled by McGlynn.
Now they're out here now. Buddy's got space.
So Franklin about to kick it to where Franklin would like to be. He might get the 1-2-3 here. Jack wasn't quite ready for it.
Good chase by GWS there.
To McGlynn. And now Rowan in the 1-on-2. Whitfield should get there.
Well done. Whitfield pushed back. He was 50 metres away from his direct opponent in Jeddah, but work rate helped his team out.
Cornelio. Fourth season now for Cornelio. Big things expected of him this year as well. Devon Smith. Now Phillips running back to the square. Jeremy Cameron running back for the square. He goes for home himself. Flick back, and I think Jeremy Cameron thought it wasn't going to be a goal, wasn't going to get the bounce, and tried to keep it alive. Didn't quite work. Jeddah. Cunningham.
Oh, well done.
Very well read.
Palmer. There's that chaos ball. Might work. McCarthy tucked into the pocket and edged out by Reid.
You cannot doubt the courage of the modern-day player, can you, Lynch? At times you might turn around in our day and go front and centre.
Well, there was only one or two cameras. You'd get away with the back end as well, or lose it in the lights.
Ah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's incredible.
21 odd cameras and high definition, of course. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching at home with us. You've got the best seat in the house.
Oh, Kennedy goes out. That's nearly intentional.
Yeah, I think that's...
I reckon that has to be intentional. Oh, umpire. You'd love to see where his eyes were going then, Josh Kennedy, because he has just done it beautifully then from about 70 metres.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was totally intentional. I mean, it's come off the side of the boot and nice little barrel.
Well, my family might be here today. I reckon he was kicking at his family in the second row.
Scully sits it up. Reid, double fist. Shield, clever. Smith stripped of it. Jeddah.
Too long in the tackle.
So Smith was held too long, and he might be within range here. He might even try and take on the man on the mark. He does from just outside 50, a little too hurried. Cameron gets back.
He did hurry it because Ryan Griffin was lurking around, was just about to set himself up for that little handball receive, and he's one of those players could have got the journey.
Cunningham. Rampy. Heaney. Good spoil, good pressure. Ball wasn't in his back. Callum Ward. Had to flick it out. Scully. Turnover. Rowan to Hanbury to Cunningham. Turnover back again. Call. Good pressure. Good quality game at the moment. Little fumble. Rampy now is caught. Wrapped up. Just got it away. Grundy. And now McVeigh, if it sits, can go. Options are plenty.
Buddy's eyes will be lighting up here.
Bird ignores. Franklin goes for Tippett. Almost raked it in. Still goes. Parker. Inboard. Heaney, there's a push off and a work. Franklin through the middle. Oh. Gold class.
That is great work. Good pressure from the Swans to keep the ball going forward. And we know Isaac Heaney's from rugby league heartland up there in Newcastle, and this is like a little offload to your big front rowers coming through the tackle. We'll just see Buddy will get involved here. He's got the head of steam up now. Just a little offload there after a great fend. Straight through the tackle and great snap on the left foot. Again, the Sydney Swans taking their chances.
I just wonder whether that was a throw from Isaac Heaney there, whether his fist made contact with the ball. It was very quick.
I think it was an offload.
Offload, there it goes.
Fend-off was almost high as well, but it was superb to watch. Jack.
This is the danger period in this half of the quarter now.
Tippett's on the move. Oh, it got to him, but through hands. Core. That's gone. Ball. McGlynn.
Great tackle.
Well done. Ben McGlynn into the side. Today is a late inclusion for his first game for 2015. He's been a very good player since arriving from Hawthorn, and a lot of it is around this defensive pressure in the forward half.
He's one of those in the Sydney 22 still fighting to win himself a premiership. Been a little unlucky. Goal umpire did not move.
Well, sensational tackle there by Ben McGlynn. But let's go back to the Isaac Heaney. Let's see if we can see a fist getting on this at the end of it. Oh, I just love he's a one-grab player. And, oh, he did. He got a little bit of skin on that. As they give me some skin, they say.
He's almost belted the cover off that.
How's this for a little bloke? That's the type of aggression you need in your forward line. And that's where GWS late in quarters are just falling down. So, well done to Glenn McGlynn. Ben McGlynn, sorry.
Played with two superpowers in Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans, but as you said, Dwayne, still looking for that first premiership.
You kind of need guys on your list who haven't won one. Keep those that have maybe got a little content in their older age to keep pushing for the other one. McGlynn gets it up. Bird still fighting hard. GWS not out of this just yet. In fact, Greater Western Sydney came from 6 goals down against Melbourne last week to win by 8 goals. Now, I know there's a bit of difference between the two teams, Melbourne and Sydney, quality-wise, but they do fight it out, GWS. Griffin couldn't quite take the chest mark. Cameron.
Oh, too high. That was, oh, I thought that was a high tackle then. Grundy, but still, the umpire just maybe in a blind spot.
Oh, that might be high.
Treloar got up. Callum Ward, he tried to part the seas. Well, it was the accumulation of 3 half frees.
That was probably the least incorrect tackle, probably. Callum Ward, he's got one high, and it is only early in the game. Just see here.
Well,
that's Jeremy Cameron. That was the first one that was overlooked. That was a high tackle.
And there's another one there too, just to follow up later.
No doubt about it. Then Ward
did he duck his head here? Oh, yeah. Gee, that's hard. Well, you've got to just play. But I know the umpires are cooler because it's that quick.
And he threw his head down, and the footy gods are here.
Yeah.
It's only early, but they're kicking their way out of this.
Yeah.
Because it's energy sapping for teammates. And just this transitions on again, Shorey. 4 goals won from defensive half chains so far in the game. Their 4 goals out of their 6 have come from this back end of the ground for the Sydney Swans. They're running it very easily through the midfield of GWS.
A mistake.
Grundy just knocked it away from Griffin.
Oh, gee, they're untidy down deep.
Made it hard for Richards. And it should be coming back. Numerical advantage here for GWS and Palmer. Well, he didn't hit his man, but he still gets it. Griffin tried to fend off. Treloar. Whitfield. Trying to thread the eye of the needle with that. Jetta. Clever. The spin. Tight rope the boundary. Got it back, and he's away. Got it back from Jack.
Oh, inside out top.
Wobbles the mongrel towards Parker. He's caught and slung and dumped.
That's ball.
Yeah, he had the prior opportunity. Had a look and decided to hold possession.
Yeah.
Good pressure to actually turn the ball over.
Might be a 20-point margin, but they are having a crack still here at GWS. They at least believe in themselves.
Let him up, Dan.
Well, look, the kick that Callum Ward had a goal and kicked the point, we knew it was a free kick, fortuitous, but that sort of pressure, that's what the GWS have to keep up. I'm worried about late in quarters when they get tired. That's the area where the Swans take control, coming out of their defence.
Swans playing a +1 in defensive half now. It's Reece Shaw, so that's what's holding the Giants up off half-back.
So he sits it up, hoping for the leaper. McCarthy went up. Cunningham, Crum. Here's the spare, Shaw. And made it look okay in the end. Heaney.
He's going to claim that.
To Bird.
How clean was Heaney at ground level, though?
And that's not going to hit a chest.
We've seen that many fumbles in the last 5 minutes from senior players, and this bloke here on screen now, just one grab at ground level.
Cornelio to Pat Full. He's got Kelly.
Got to go quick.
So Kelly on the open side.
Yeah, well done from Josh Kennedy up the field to force the slow off half-back.
Scully.
Kennedy's on the mark here, but he got out in front of Scully to stop the quick transition.
These two teams have had the same amount of scoring shots, 12 scoring shots each. High inside 50, and McCarthy with the big lead, knocked it down. Reece Palmer, this is his moment.
Oh, beautiful finish.
And raises the hope a little more.
Cam McCarthy won't get a stat there, but what he did, he jumped at the contest, and he was a really predictable marking contest, got the ball straight down to the front to Reece Palmer. Have a look at McCarthy's work here. Really important he makes a contest. He's not going to take the mark, gets up over the top of, may have been Grundy there, spills the ball down to a predictable position. Palmer was in the right spot, and I think he'd be more comfortable around the body like this. Reece Palmer makes a great fist of it, and just narrows the gap back to 14 points. Great goal.
Gee, I love seeing that. Front and centre. Front and centre to a contest. We don't see a lot because there's so many numbers in the defensive half. And I think small forwards have forgot how to even train for it. But that was just beautiful off the pack, the way they read that and finished.
So more scoring shots now by 1. But only the 3 goals compared to 6. But they are well and truly alive in this, and they believe. Remember, they did beat Sydney round 1 last year. Josh Kennedy. Now Franklin's lurking. Bang. Crunched. Heaney. Right spot, right time. Franklin. Shrugs. Oh, he burnt them both. Oh, there's one for the highlights reel.
He's bounced off 2 or 3 opponents there. Now, he's a big man, 6'5", well over 100 kilos, you would suspect. Really powerful. Heaney again in the right position, gives it off to start with. One fend, breaks a tackle, breaks the second tackle on Joel Patfull. He'll be disappointed with that one. But great composure from the superstar forward. Buddy Franklin, great strength. And again, transition from one end of the ground, or the middle of the ground, to deep forward goal.
Superman just wearing his opponent like a cape.
Tell you what,
full flight there.
Franklin went to everybody else and gave him high fives. He should be going Isaac Heaney. He set him up with 2 beauties at the moment.
Kennedy, Hanbury, McVeigh. Rowan went under that.
The middle of the ground.
You've given one away.
So it's downfield against Mumford.
Yeah. Oh, Mumford's actually rested his face on Laidler's, or his forehead on Laidler's chin. And there's a report.
You've been reported for rough conduct. Stay out, stay out. Stay out.
Interesting to see. The late tackle, and I think it was on Kieran Jack went down to start with, and Laidler got involved.
And Parker, after the 50-metre penalty, kicks an easy goal from the goal line, but there are spot fires everywhere right now.
Energy sapping for the Giants, one of their leaders, Big Shane Mumford. Have a look at the collision here in the middle of the ground, and Mummy just...
Oh, hold on. Kieran Jack may be the instigator there. I don't know what happened after it.
And then, so it was high contact against Jack to start with, then Mummy's reacted. And that's often the case. The one that reacts, the second up, gets caught.
one of the oldest football Murphy's Laws of the book. It's always the guy who reacts.
Oh, there's heavy contact there.
Now, I think we're going to get a bit more heavy contact in the second half, the way this is travelling. 5.5 minutes left. Green, Shaw, Griffin, and they fight back late here. Biggest margin of the game. Shield, caught, ball. Gee, I thought he dropped that.
And maybe knocked out in the tackle, I think, Dwayne.
Got away with it, and the umpire's stalking this. That's ball.
Well, he's been the target, Dylan Shield. They've really put time into him. Every time he's got the ball, he's been under Bird's the man probably with that job. But he's been brilliant in the first 2 weeks. He's the man.
And here he is on cue for you, Shorey.
Not too much space. Going to have to go bail out long. Needs a strong contest in the air.
Mumford's down there. McCarthy's down there. Kelly's down there. Palmer tried it off the deck. Richards. Hanbury threw that out to Parker. Fell. Pike. Through some legs. Core. Whitfield. One at his left. Devon Smith with a couple to beat. Did okay there. Didn't get the free kick away. Still hassles. Grundy gone. Just got it away in time.
Good pressure from the Giants, but great work from Sydney to maintain possession.
Oh, not now.
And the steal back. He's on the left this time, Whitfield.
And the pressure and the intensity is there from the Giants. They just can't finish the work. 3 goals, 11, as we hear GWS blood rule. Maybe Jeremy Cameron, who's gone from the ground, who went down in a contest about 30 seconds ago at the top of the goal square. That's a bit of head contact. Just get patched up and he'll be back out there in a few minutes, you'd suggest.
Richards. Jenner, he wanted to run onto it, and Haynes came the other way in full flight. Tight ropes the boundary end. Almost juggled McCarthy. This is his moment, and he hasn't had many so far today.
Well, the scoreboard impact in the first quarter was transition, we said, from defence. I don't think that's happened as much against GWS with the Swans in this quarter. Some individual brilliance that's been inside their 50 when they've gone in there.
3 goals last week against Melbourne, Cam McCarthy. He's one of those players with a strange-ish ball drop, but a pretty accurate kick.
Oh, he's hit that all right.
Just across the face.
You see his kicking action here, boys, and we've spoken about it a little bit, but he just leaves it out there to hang, and he doesn't guide it totally onto his foot. It's he's a real competitor. If he gets a few more shots at goal, he'll certainly get better at his goal kicking, but he's a good young kid.
Yeah, a bit of West Coast Eagles Josh Kennedy in the run-up as well. Freddie Flintstone stuff.
Jeddah has got a paddock ahead. One thinks about a second bounce. Franklin wants it long. Front spot, Davis. You might mark this, Davis. His own man knocked it away. Rowan or Franklin still lurking in the pocket. Couldn't get the handle back to him. Bird to full forward. Tipper. Parker. Oh! You can't do that, surely.
They'll review it, but it is a goal.
I believe it's a goal. I just want to see if it was touched.
I dare you to try that at home.
He was forward. He was about to land on his nose, and he's got that from hand to foot.
Let's have a look
at this.
And how did he drop it? He's done it with it.
It's a drop kick.
Oh.
He's kicked the droppy. Are you going to be able to reverse that? It's going to be hard to tell. Little drop kick on the inside.
Oh, he kicked it. There's no doubt. Oh, that is sensational.
Definitely kicked it. It's all about whether it was touched.
Toby Green claims it was touched.
Just behind you there. Kurt, Thomas, Kurt.
You're not going to better say that was touched. No. That's the first drop kick goal we've seen for a few years. Dwayne, since you were playing.
Bruce Linder, I think, on this ground from memory.
That's an instep goal, boys.
I reckon it was Bruce Linder at Waverley, I reckon it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say that was touched. So the benefit has to go to the goal kicker, I'm thinking.
We go to the umpire's decision, which was a goal.
Oh, we've seen it all. This is a fantastic game of football. I think might be a bit of a sting in the tail still after half-time because we know GWS have finished games off pretty well. But how good was that? He was gone, done and dusted. You're thinking, oh, gee, I was set up if I could only stand up. And then somehow he's dropped it on the instep. And that is just magnificent play. Toby Green couldn't get his hands on it, and there's no way you could call that touch.
Yeah, outstanding highlight for Luke Parker. He's a very, very good player, and he's just taken it to new heights with an instep drop kick for goal.
From the ball up. 2 minutes left to half-time. Biggest margin of the game, 30 points. From the scramble. Can't concede another one here, GWS. And of course they'd love to get one. Smith bangs it long in hope. Grundy, fist wins out as it so often does. Hanbury, stolen back. Green, Whitfield, Mumford. Tried for the 1-2, didn't work. Pike, Cunningham, McVeigh, Kennedy. Just scrambles a kick. Turnover. Smith, Griffin gives it to Green.
Strife here.
Yeah, too much handball.
Treloar.
But again, the pressure on the ball carrier from both teams, really. But the Sydney Swans didn't allow GWS any time and space to get the short pass in so they could stop to set up a really clean forward 50 entry. Everything they touched on that occasion was under pressure.
Cornelio. Devon Smith. Tough kick from the pocket. Percentage play from Laidler.
Yeah, well done from Mumford to even contest and spoil it over the line, appealing to the umpire that he may have been held, but difficult to make a decision in that situation.
Well, the Swans have only conceded 52 points on average per the first 2 games. They're going fairly close to that margin again now. So great defensive work by the Swans.
Still a chance for a late one here. Kelly.
Good smother.
It's smothered by Hanbury. Franklin. He's a magnet. They all come to him and leave players free. Lloyd, little nudge out. It's against Shaw. It's going to Rowan.
There wasn't a lot in that one. I thought Heath Shaw eased him under the ball okay.
Kirk Tippett. Patfull.
More often than not, Joel Patfull would be more comfortable to take the mark on that occasion, but they're just under siege a little bit.
He's limping Lynchy behind play there. Joel Patfull too, as he's just gone back.
Yeah, just might have wrenched the knee in that contest.
Ooh.
Pike down to Franklin.
Oh, no.
Bends it back. Well, that would have been phenomenal.
Left foot banana on the run, running to your right foot. Certainly creates some anxiety for opposition teams and supporters.
Back into play. Still danger here. Shaw. It's wide. And it's on the full. 27 seconds left to half-time. Still a chance for one more piece of maybe Lance Franklin magic. It's in his direction. Edged out. Heaney flew and Davis marked it.
Well done from Davis. He just got rid of Buddy Franklin in that pack. Just edged him under the ball nicely.
Danger. McVeigh. Tapped it out of play.
Something's got to work on Phil Davis. You can see exactly what's in his mind before he kicks the ball. So players around him just read his facial expressions. They say to face where you want to kick the ball, but sometimes you just got to move your head a little bit to make the opposition wonder what's going to happen.
Heading's on his own. And he could have the last kick of the half.
And he's just been told from the teammates, take the shot, and you just think, everything this young man has done in the first 2.5 games he's played has turned to gold, and you'd imagine this will be the same. He's playing in front. He pushes off his opponent. Nice mark.
From right on the paint. Did look good off the boot. You're watching a star on the rise, right before your eyes. Isaac Henney kicks his third. And the lead blows out to 35 points at half-time. GWS came from 36 points down last week to beat Melbourne. They're going to have to come from 35 down here. Back to you, Sandy.
Good on you, Dwayne. Thank you very much. Yes, what an extraordinary quarter of football, and some freakish football. Whether it's Buddy, whether it's Luke Parker, or whether it's Isaac Heeney. The bottom line is the Sydney Swans are flexing their muscles, and they lead by 35 points at the long break. Earlier today, it was the Bombers who were in fine form at the MCG. They accounted for Carlton to the tune of 21 points, and they were very happy, particularly in the rooms after the game.
Second half not far from getting underway now. 35-point margin in favour of the Sydney Swans as we head back downstairs to their former premiership captain, Barry Hall.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Well, the Sydney Swans are making every post a winner in that first half of football. And another win they've had is against Dylan Shields. Only had the 5 disposals in the first half, but he's averaged 27 in the first 2 weeks. 12 contested possessions. He's kicked 4 goals so far in his first 2 games of football. Really stemmed his influence since this bloke right on screen here. Very underrated player, Craig Bird. He's the reason why this side's such a good team. Very, very underrated. He's just one of the links in the chain.
It's going to be important to see who can actually step up. Lance Franklin just lurking on the wing. In fact, just backward of it as well. About to plough forward, perhaps. Former Swan Shane Mumford. Been reported, we understand. Good crowd in, and it's been a high-quality contest between 2 undefeated teams. This is second and third on the AFL ladder coming into round 3. Old teammates Mumford and Pike. Good tackle. Cornelio laid the tackle on McGlynn, who was coming hard green. Shaw got there with Devon Smith at the same time. Smith held his feet. McVeigh to Shaw. Manhandled across the line, and will get a ball in. The older of the 2 Shaw brothers playing today, of course, Reece.
Great attack on the ball from McGlynn. Just charging out the contest.
About 4 years, the senior. Reece and Heath head-to-head today. Kennedy. Hanbury to Franklin. Well, Heath waited around to see if anybody was going to go for it. Davis does. Whitfield got some space to set it up through the middle. Needs a kind bounce, does Patfull. He gets one. Thought about going all the way himself. Goes to McCarthy.
Well-weighted kick from Joel Patfull. He did need the right bounce. It was good work from Lockie Whitfield to get the ball out in front of him. But as we said, a little interesting kicking style McCarthy has. He needs to get his team off to an absolute flyer here with a really nice kick. Here's Patfull's weighted kick. Just pulled the kick out in front of McCarthy.
Hasn't had a massive afternoon at the office just yet, Cam McCarthy. Maybe just starting to warm into it.
That certainly helps when you haven't had a big night. He's presented pretty well at the contest. Hasn't had a lot of disposals, but he hasn't actually flushed that one. Here's the good use from Lockie Whitfield. If he was going to miss the pass, he was going to miss out in front so Patfull could run onto it. And then a nicely weighted kick to McCarthy. Now he's got this off the instep pretty much. It started left and faded back to the right. And he's pretty relieved and happy. And just the start that the Giants needed early in this second half.
As mentioned earlier, they did come from 6 goals down to win by 8 last week, GWS, but quality of opposition is a little different this week than last week when they played Melbourne.
It is that, Dwayne, and I agree with that. But the one thing about, and I've watched them really closely the last couple of years, they don't get intimidated about what's happening in the second half. So they'll take the game on still.
They kicked 13 goals in a row last week,
yeah.
GWS. So when they put the hammer down, they really did motor. Green.
Good spread
Spread
here.
there. Look at the spread. You can see they don't mind. They'll just run forward.
Well, there's three ran hard from that centre bounce contest.
Griffin loads long. McCarthy could get the leap from behind Cameron. McCarthy stayed down.
Oh,
And two in a row.
He's kicked that one better than his set shots.
There's that sting in the tail. I said, Lynchy, I thought there was something in this game. I thought they were disappointing in the first half of the first quarter, but the things that happened then, they transition their forward line, not putting pressure on. I don't think that happened in the second quarter. It was just individual brilliance from Franklin and Heaney that got Sydney Swans in that situation of being 35 up. Great start to GWS, really good. He's a fantastic competitor. I like the way that he just wants to, he's got urgency about his game and he wants to keep involved in the contest.
Missed opportunities in the first half, saw them go down at half-time, be down by 35 points at half-time. They've taken those chances in the first 2 minutes of this third term. Really good start to get their spirits up.
Margin cut back to 23. Mumford doing okay in the ruck. Bud came in hard. Ward to Kelly. Confidence high now. He sure runs.
And again, they win clearances.
Heads in the Phillips direction. He just ran himself under the ball. Grundy plays on quickly. Reshaw. Hanbury. Heads wide. McGlynn. Had to go back and get it. Jetta. Wanted to use the corridor. Rowan, well, he tried to be slick. The Cunningham missed him. Bug flicks it back to Core.
Well, they're out here again.
So Shield to Green. Whitfield on the move, and he's on his left. Normally uses it well. Shield was there for the 1-2. Whitfield back to his left. McCarthy.
And space in front of Griffin.
Well, Griffin on Jetta, and the 232s. Griffin had the space that he needed. And this is a massive kick.
And Ryan Griffin is a beautiful kick of the football. He will look to get it inboard, but already most of the Swans players on the ground are in defensive 50. So Griffin, back him in here. Little right to lefter.
He's got a natural fade, Lynchy, so it should favour him if he doesn't kick a lot of this.
And hasn't kicked a goal for them just yet.
He has now.
He has now. That's his first for GWS.
Huge raps when he came into the competition as one of the elite players already in his early years. And we just see here the build-up. McCarthy finds Griffin, who worked into space. The only real space was deep in the pocket, so he was forced to go to the boundary line, but just around the body from 40 metres out is a really nice kick. Let's have a look at the Giants' last 5 home and away games. They've been very impressive with 4 wins. Just have a look at the Giants. Their last 5 home and away games, they've had 4 wins from 5 games. That's really impressive form line. It's going to take some play to get back into this one, but they're only 17 points down and looking good.
Oh, Mumford to Green to McCarthy. Bumped on the mark attempt.
Yeah, no doubt. The chop of the arms or pushing the back.
He may be just within range here. He goes for the pass. Cameron. Good fist, Teddy Richards. Devon Smith to keep it alive. He got one a little high.
Yeah, pay the high tackle as well.
Getting some breaks.
These are the half chances they have to take. They've taken the first 3. This is going to be a big ask, but as we can be able to see from the angle, they're not deep
it's
pockets.
A bit wider.
There is a lot of light in between the 2 posts.
He's got some class about him, Devon Smith, and he can find the opening when you think he can't. Tries to bend that bag. Mumford went down. Griffin couldn't go the half volley. Lloyd, everything under pressure now. Hanbury dumped. Scully flicks it up. Cameron from 50. Phillips up. Tried to flick down to a teammate. He couldn't quite find one. Grundy, bang. And Shaw takes off. Has some time, some space.
Jetta goes.
Jetta working hard. Whitfield working hard with him. Jetta's use of the body was superb. Will he go for Franklin? Franklin runs back into space and he was held.
He's got a great knack as a key forward to get, a bit like Cameron, to get players under the ball and double back. Oh, where you going, bud? You've got to go behind the mark, mate.
Optimistic. He's only 10 metres in front of it, but worth a try.
Have a look at the stats here, boys. The GWS are just dominating. They've had, 11 more possessions, double the contested possessions, inside 50, 6-1. This will be really against the flow of play early in this quarter.
But typical of the first term, a deep defence transition for a shot at goal.
And they were efficient in the first term too, so one inside 50 could end up in one goal here. Stop this run of 3 in a row for GWS, and he misses to the near side.
And that's the break the Giants need.
I thought Andrew Phillips was great bringing that ball back in there, but I don't know whether he should be a resting forward. I'd like to work him off the bench now and get a smaller player in there. He doesn't look like he's going to have a marking impact down there.
Core. Whitfield. Shaw. Bug. So they run and take it on. Treloar back to Bug. He made it bounce and it didn't work for them. Bird looks up. Options are plenty. On the rebound, McGlynn. This'll hurt. Stings a lot, that.
Missed.
It's missed. Hit the post.
Just missed, yeah.
McGlynn thought, well, he was a bit confused there.
Did he think it was touched by the player, Phil Davis?
Well, Phil Davis hit the umpire, so maybe the umpire didn't get a great view of it either, but there was contact between Davis and the goal umpire.
Haynes. We'll show you that again when we can. And stick with the live action because it's action aplenty at the moment. Grundy.
Here they go. They look for the corridor switch again.
McVeigh. He sits it up for Franklin into one-on-one with Davis. Good fist, Davis. Tip it. Tipped it down. Treloar and Bug there. Treloar to Bug. Whitfield. Is that 15? Yes. Sure. The crowd are into it right now, and boy, GWS into it.
Let's have a look at this Ben McGlynn shot at goal. And we're looking at the left goal post.
Gee, that...
I think there was a little deflection. Oh, is that shadow?
And again, the umpire is in perfect position there to make that call.
Benefit of doubt, the umpire.
You may have heard it rather than seen it. Cunningham inside 50. Franklin and Davis used his body well. Now he needs to handle it nicely. Haynes. Still full of run.
Good chase, Rowan.
Cameron tried to take his man away and Richards didn't fall for it. He went and got the ball to McGlynn. Short. Core tried to dive, but Tippett was in the spot.
Wow, just some untidy. Well done to Gary Rowan. That chase down just caused a turnover because they've been untidy 2 or 3 times outside defensive 50 GWS, and that's what set up this goal. So good defensive chase down by Gary Rowan.
Saw a good contest between these two teams round 1 last year. GWS winning after a lightning delay mid-game, tumbling rain. And this is quality at the moment. This is a good, solid contest between two undefeated teams. And Tippett hasn't had the best afternoon either. If you've just joined us, they were 35 points down, and they've kicked the last 3 goals of the game, the Giants. Cornelio. Dangerous, but they're backing themselves in, and Haynes is away. To Phillips. To Scully. Well, maybe not.
Well, gets there.
Cornelio. Reece Palmer, body on the line. Green went to ground, an opportune time. Through McCarthy. Grundy. Lloyd. Grundy. Rampy. Danger. Cameron cut it off. Richards under pressure. Kept that alive, Reece Palmer.
Oh, he's kicked.
And that is brilliant. 99 games he's played. That might be the best thing he's ever done.
They hung in there. They just stayed putting the pressure on, scrapping the ball forward. And Reece Palmer, when the ball goes in deep, good work from Jeremy Cameron to read where Rampy was going to go, diving on the ball and in two steps around the body, natural left foot up and kicks it through beautifully. That's great work from Reece Palmer. He had a really good 12 months with GWS. Really handy player.
Well, that's a player playing for survival.
Yep.
He knows what he's got to do that week in, week out. Fantastic goal.
Important player, plays a majority of a defensive role in the forward half. And obviously we see he's got the matchup on Reece Shaw, but if you're playing a defensive role, still really important you put pressure on your opponent by scoring.
4 goals in a row to start this term for Greater Western Sydney. Jetta tries to open up the midfield.
Shields down in the middle of the ground there.
Laidler to McVeigh to Franklin. Davis was in his bag. Umpire said Franklin played for it.
Well, Davis has had the matchup on Franklin of late, and he's making it very hard. As we see, Dylan Shield just limped from the ground. It appears it may be a left ankle injury out of that contest.
He's had a quiet night, 7 possessions. He's averaged 27 possessions this year in both games.
Hanbury. Bird gets free. Stand start Laidler from 50. And it drifts and things just not going right suddenly for Sydney.
Well, that's exactly the transition from the first half, where the half breaks were going for Sydney. They're going against them at the moment.
Just about to say, Lynchy, it's 4 goals to 4 behinds, and they're the same inside 50, so what a turnaround for the Giants.
And there's the confidence from Devon Smith as well. They're all showing it. Reece Palmer! I thought the goal was the best thing. That's a mark or too high.
Oh, he's paid the free kick. You got to pay the mark.
I think it did hit the ground, boys, but
Doesn't
what a
matter.
nice.
Devon Smith. Hate to harp on it, but as we said, they did kick 13 in a row last week. They've kicked 4 in a row. And they did come from 6 goals down last week, Greater Western Sydney. They keep fighting the 2015 version. Smith to half forward, and it works.
Yeah, we look to go short.
Scully looks up. He goes for goal. That's touched by Cameron, or just rolled through for a behind anyway.
There's one of those mongrel kick forward that does work, Lynchy. Peter Dacos kicked 600 goals off, mate.
McVeigh. Cunningham. Brought back into the team this week with Adam Goods playing in the reserves, the NEFL this weekend. And Adam Goods might find it hard to get back into this lineup as well. Nick Smith, a late withdrawal. He'd be expecting to come back next week. McVeigh. But if they go down here, Sydney, you'd think they'd bring him straight back in. Cunningham. McGlynn.
And they go one-on-one to Buddy Franklin. No, well done from the Giants. They've got back in to block up the space.
From 35 down to 14 points down. Packful. Good fist. Shaw. Right spot. Whitfield.
He's a class act, Whitfield.
Yeah.
Coming up for disposal number 19.
The other bloke's Devon Smith, Lynchy, just 23 possessions. He just works so hard, and here's another mistake here. This is what you've got to... We'll go to Barry Hall.
Yeah, Dylan Shields really probably on that left ankle. They pulled some ice out a little bit previous. I'm not a physio, but I thought when you pull the ice out, you're done for the day. But he's up and about again, so let's hope he can get back on because they need him.
Bird, slick hands. Greater Western Sydney getting numbers back. Little flick out, Ward. Throw. It wasn't a flick out, it was a throw.
Well, that turnover where they tried to get the ball to Phil Davis and missed the target and cause that stoppage, they're the things where you've got to know the position of the game. You're on top, scoring pressure, kick down the line and get another contest, but they are a young side, so let's have a... Yeah, that's too... Oh, was that too slick there, Lynchy? What do you think? Did he close his fist?
I didn't see that one, to be honest.
I'll get you in the bad books with the umpies, so I'll ask you.
Craig Bird settles some nerves here at the SCG.
Important goal. They've worked extremely hard in this term, the Sydney Swans, and as Barry Hall just alluded to, the inside 50s were pretty similar, but just haven't been able to get reward for effort. Let's have a look at Reece Palmer's attempt at hanging in front of the members. There's 2 grabs, 3, 4 off the foot. No, I think he's dropped that one in the end, and that's a quick handball, very quick handball. That was a throw. Free kick against, resulting in a bird goal.
Saw a mark paid last night that was similar.
Jamie Elliott, yeah, yep. That's right, the MCG.
Yeah.
And the restart, and the umpire will have to restart.
I'm trying to look across his commentary line. I don't think any of us got up that high to worry about those sort of things.
You got up a couple of times. Book mark of the year, Lynchy.
Oh, did you really, Lynchy?
Thanks for that.
Absolutely.
That's when you were 4 kilos less. And
I'll tell you what, and it still stands. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, Google it. Alistair Lynch, mark of the year. It still stands as one of the best of all time. Mumford. Phillips. Ball to the back. Richard scrambles it through.
They've got to make sure they don't allow Sydney to get back-to-back goals here. Got to respond, GWS.
Cunningham. Grundy. His third term's been played at a breakneck pace. He's slowed it down a little. McGlynn. Tippett tries the fend off. Davis knocked it down to Green. Whitfield another possession. Haynes. Bug. Good smother on Ward. McGlynn, body on the line, first game 2015 for Ben McGlynn. Back into play. Sydney chant rings around the SCG. Bug goes back to Haynes. Will Palmer go up again here? He does. Hands on it.
It was very muggy in Sydney this afternoon. I think these players are feeling the pinch here.
Yep.
You just see McGlynn, the sweat was pouring off him after that effort. So they might be just feeling the pinch there. Both sides looking to 3/4 time, I would think. I think they'd be happy with no score, both of them. If they could sneak one, it'd be good.
McVeigh. Tippett runs under it a little.
And enough to pay a free kick there in favour of Kurt Tippett. Maybe a hold of the right arm in that marking contest.
Yeah, he's got to, Phil Davis has to get out of that. For a big bloke, he gets caught a lot giving free kicks away one-on-one.
Cunningham hands it up. Laidlaw. Lloyd.
Well done, Toby Green. You can just see him in Toby Green inside 50 spot. That. Oh, now Lance Franklin gets there. No, well done to the GW. Well set up then.
Whitfield.
Yeah, good call, Shorey. Was Toby Green at midfielder getting back into that space?
Possession 22 for Lockie Whitfield. Still a chance, Cheddar. He likes these. Gets it to work back. And it bounces kindly.
Shorey, that's two goals have come from turnovers in their defensive half. One was that switch across goals. On this occasion, took the extra bounce looking for the perfect out, whereas the long bailout kick down the line makes it someone else's problem, and a stoppage at half forward rather than a turnover at half back. So, great goal from Jeddah, and again, back-to-back goals for the Sydney Swans, which is great for them.
And Dylan Shields has just entered this game against. That's really good news for the Giants.
He's got to get his hands on the ball, Barry. He's had the 7 possessions. We said before 27. You said he needed to lift. He really did, because he's a man who can split the lines and kick goals from 50.
And the ball up. Pike got it down, but not to a teammate. Heaney came in off the line. Just beelined it and drives it long. Franklin edged out of it nicely by Patfull. Treloar.
Stays in.
Davis made sure it went out.
I Isaac Heaney hasn't had a lot of the ball. That's 8 disposals for the game, his first touch for the quarter, but everything he does is clean and makes an impact. That one, deep forward 50 entry.
Mumford front spot, Scully, kick smothered. Jack put his head down. Scrambling kick from Davis. Scully. Shield back on. Just got it off to Kelly. And Phillips sees it out.
Really important last few minutes of this quarter for the Giants. They lead the quarter 4-2 to 2-4, but just got to finish the quarter off.
Winning the quarter by 10 points. Hanbury. Tippett tries to fend off first, and Davis outmarks him, and they are away. Green.
Oh, that's a terrible.
Oh.
That's a shocking kick.
And Franklin's within range.
And again, defensive half turnovers has been what's killed them in this quarter.
That's 3 in a row now. Oh, here's one from Sydney Swans too.
Lloyd, the twist, the turn, and now it opens up. Kieran Jack makes them pay full price for the turnover.
Well, I said about 3 minutes ago that both sides would like to get the three-quarter time without another score, and they've just kicked, 3 goals nearly in that period of time. So that does hurt. There's no doubt the GWS have got tired here, but that's a sloppy kick. They got away with this. I think he's a very good player, Jakey Lloyd. I like the way that he comes off halfback when he plays down there. He's really got some work on him. And there he is, Kieran Jack. Plays now as nearly a small forward. There's the score sources. 52 points from turnover.
Yeah, the notable stat obviously is turnovers. 8 goals for the Sydney Swans, 5-7 for GWS.
And the Giants have made the move on the sub. Nathan Wilson has taken the green vest off, and Andrew Phillips has put the red one on.
Okay, Kennedy kicks in the Franklin direction. Patfull used his body well. So the sub for the Sydney Swans is Dean Towers. They're yet to bring him on. Got that up their sleeve.
Yeah, I think Andrew Phillips just, the night probably doesn't suit, a bit slippery out there. It's been very humid and sweaty.
Ward told to keep going, not 15. Davis. Umpire said he didn't control it or have enough of it. Here's Lloyd again. Turnover. Reed's handball missed the mark. He's trying to make amends, mop it all up. Big 4 minutes coming up here to three-quarter time. Margin was 35 points. It's 32. They're still winning the quarter. Mumford just handed that to Ward. Cameron. They missed a few shots early in this game, and it may come back to haunt him.
They need to finish off the quarter with some quality ball inside 50. Rampy's playing as the loose back, as is Grundy. So they've got a couple back at the moment, the Sydney Swans.
He's kicked 1 goal 3 from just 6 possessions, Jeremy Cameron. So he could have a big role in the last quarter as well. Umpire will ball this up.
Well, they've been challenged, the Swans, but the one thing about a good side is they meet the challenge, and they've nearly got it out to the same half-time lead, as you said, Dwayne. So the mistakes from GWS, but sometimes you force the pressure builds over a long quarter.
Hanbury, short. Franklin lurking forward. He wanted it long. He went short in the end. Heaney. Franklin, one-on-one, front spot. Patfull. He needed to get a hand on that to try and pluck the mark.
Joel says, what's that for? Well, it was an unrealistic attempt. And
well, he's got to touch it.
Yeah, he got to at least get a fist on it.
His idol as a kid growing up in SA was Tony Modra.
He used to touch a few.
He used to touch a few and pluck a few.
Baz, how do you see this one from Buddy?
Well, he'll love this. Left foot up. He'll do his little arc, as he always does, and he'll swing this in beautifully. Mark it down.
Mark it
down. In the book.
If he does his arc from here, he won't even be in play. Here he is.
Mark it down, he said.
Oh, Barry Hall.
That's gone the other way.
He's out of the jungle.
He's made a monkey out of all of us too.
Well done, Baz. Good call. Beautiful kick from Buddy Franklin.
That's not a normal left foot kick, Lynchy. There's no doubt about the free kick, but a left footer from that side, Baz, how many times would they curve it back that way? It normally goes from left to right, as you said, and it's a natural left foot, but he goes the other way here. It starts left to right, then goes right to left. Incredible.
Beautiful kick. That's why he's a superstar. The unorthodox.
That's why we pay you the big bucks, Barry Hall.
Not enough, but anyway, we'll talk about that another day. But last 14 of 17 inside 50s for the Sydney Swans, so they've been dominant.
It's Barry Hall, 746 goals for his career. Sydney Premiership captain with us on the boundary line. To half forward. They need a reply here, GWS. Jetta, the twist and turn. Margins blowed out to 38. So they're about to win the quarter, the Swans, unless GWS can find a goal in the last 2.5 minutes.
The last 4 goals have come from 9 inside forward 50s to 3. 4 goals, 2 to just 2 points. They're winning in all facets of the game at the moment. Need to pinch one back before three-quarter time, the Giants.
Davis heads wide to Green. Caused one of those turnover goals. Sits it up. Cameron, he looks around for an opponent first to feel for contact, and Ted Richards enjoyed that. He just keeps on keeping on, Ted Richards. Now 32 years of age, 233 games for the ball in. Tippett. Back to lend a hand. McVeigh. Parker. No space, but yet found some. Kennedy got it from Grundy. Rowan down the middle to Shaw, and they break. He just bangs it long. McGlynn's got a couple to beat. Might still beat them. There's 4 around him. Franklin!
Wants a handle.
Little knock to his own advantage. Didn't quite work for him. The crowd were off their seats there. Everyone at the SCG went up as one. That was a moment, and it didn't quite evolve for us.
But he's got a wry smile on the face as well. I just had it. Just had to pop up.
He's sure wide. Scully. Swans with the numbers here as well. Kennedy. Rampy. McVeigh. Franklin wants it long again. He's in the spot. Franklin got it.
It's just hard to stop. Weight of numbers. The ball has just been pounded into the forward 50 over the last 15 minutes of play. And Buddy Franklin has looked dangerous, whether you've been forward 50 or up on the wing. But 10 inside 50s to 4 in the last 10 minutes of play.
Five is his best against GWS. He thought they actually were going to recruit him at one stage. Didn't quite eventuate as the Giants wanted. He's Franklin here at the Swans, and he's missed.
He's kicked one from row 6 that's faded left and right and everywhere.
How do you kick his last one and miss that one? I don't understand.
Canelio. Dying seconds. Maybe a little disappointed with that. Greater Western Sydney. They kicked 4 goals in a row to open the third term. Got themselves back in the contest, and then the big bounce back. 39 points, the margin of three-quarter time here at the SCG. The Swans back in control. Three-quarter time at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and the third term saw great to Western Sydney with Cam McCarthy firing. Cut the margin back to just 14 points. But then the Sydney Swans guns started firing. Jetta, a long-range shot that landed. And they're back out to a 39-point margin. 14-12, 96. The 7, 15, 57. Lance Franklin's got 4. Isaac Henny, 3 goals, 2 of those in the opening term. And there's the numbers. It's been a close contest to watch, enjoyable contest. And it's not over just yet as we head back down to Barry Hall.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Well, just thinking about what the two coaches would be saying. John Longmire on one hand would be saying, let's keep going what we've done in the first 3 quarters. We've done nothing wrong. They've finished well. All the key indicators have been pretty good for the Sydney Swans. The work rate's been up, so it'll all be about process for John Longmire and a 4-quarter performance. Leon Cameron, on the other hand, let's back our fitness. They've been pretty good for the last 2 weeks. They've been finishing games really, really well. Let's back our fitness. Let's look at uncontested ball, moving the ball quickly, get it inside 50. Let's try and score as much as we can. Maybe the game is out of their reach, but let's have a crack at it.
Let's have a look at the top 5 disposal winners on the ground, and there's been some fine displays out there now in this game so far. Daniel Hannabury's been outstanding for the entire game. Smith has been very good as well. McVeigh, Whitfield on the outside, his polish has been very good, although one critical mistake off half-back in that 3rd term, and he's Shaw. Very important for the Giants off half-back. The 3rd term started really well. They kicked the first 4 goals of that quarter to 3 points. The Swans missed a couple of half opportunities in that 3 points, but the Swans just bounced back late in the game. Very impressive to finish off the quarter. 4 points up on the quarter.
Well, we talked about those score sources and the turnovers, and it was getting up to a stage where it was just hurting GWS. I think 3 goals came direct from turnovers out of the back half, which really hurt you instead of going long down the line. Oh, look, I agree with Barry Hall. Leon Cameron would have just said to this, the GWS boys, just take it on. If they lost by more, it's not an issue. It's just how you attack this quarter. Be offensive, take some chances. You need to score quick to get back in the game.
39 points to margin. Final term underway. Mumford and Pike. Off the deck from Jack. Didn't quite work for him. To throw initially from Lloyd. Got away with it. McVeigh. Kennedy. Reid. Sprays the kick.
And what it does reinforce to GWS is that when you come up against a true Div 1 team, if you like, one of the superpowers, you've got to be very good to beat them, but you've got to be very good for a long period of time. And they just gave the Sydney Swans a sniff late in that quarter, and they took the chance.
Smith trying to flick it up, got a second chance to get it up to a teammate. Hunting it down, absolutely.
I think Mumford actually is taking out Griffin.
Oh, and he's down still, holding his leg.
Well, hopefully he's holding his quad and not his knee.
I think it might be a corky. Let's hope a corky.
Yeah, because he came in really hard.
Reece Palmer, well, he had no one to go to, and that probably not the best of the options.
He was assisted quickly up onto his feet, Ryan Griffin. It does appear to be a quad.
Lloyd to Shaw, little fumble. Time to mop it up, and there's the look-away handball. Tony Shaw was talking about that maybe Phil Davis needs to develop that kind of poker face. There's the injury.
Let's have a look. Mumford comes in here to get McGlynn.
Oh, yeah.
But hits Ryan Griffin. And that's an old-fashioned corky or the dead leg.
Well, you can get some that'll fix up in about a minute's time or two, but you can get some that can take you out. You'll be sore for a week and might be doubtful next week.
Kelly flicked the handball back. So they've already used their sub as well. Nathan Wilson is on with Andrew Phillips being subbed out.
Going to take the good, the bad with Shane Mumford. The way he attacks the ball, he's going to hurt a lot of other players, but sometimes he'll get friendly fire and take out one of his own like that.
Yeah, he's a ripper. Scully, little 1-2 with Treloar. Haynes still fighting this out. Greater Western Sydney started the 3rd term with 4 goals in a row. And they sneak one early here. Tackle low by McVeigh.
He's got away with that one.
Yep, no prior.
Ryan Griffin just trying to keep that quad moving. They'll suss it out over the next couple of minutes. And
cannot sit down, Lynchy.
No,
if he sits down,
it may be the ice pack, and that's it.
McGlynn missed Hannabury. Whitfield handball through traffic. Green got it back to Whitfield in his Trying to get onto, he got into his right, goes long. Cameron rolls to the back. Grundy should get there first. Gets a protection from Rampy. McVeigh. Richards. Inside to Shaw.
Great kick.
They've done this well.
Quality organisation the Sydney Swans have been for a long, long time. Handling the pressure well here. Franklin. Good pat away by Pat Full. Franklin still gets it back. Weaves some magic. But can't finish it.
They're the ones he normally kicks on the run. And he's got 4 goals, 4 for the night, Buddy Franklin.
Ward to Whitfield. And they're out. Scully.
This is the kick. This is the one they've had problems with. He's got to work hard here, Cameron.
And he gets there, Cameron, and holds it.
That's a really good pass out in front. He had to wait. Cameron didn't go early.
Mumford's feeding back to the goal square.
That's going to be probably the best option to Mumford in the goal square. Got to get there quick, though.
Sits it up instead to Scully.
It's probably
Laidler, when he took on the tackler a little, got it off just in time. Bird made it somebody else's problem. Cameron couldn't mark it. Devon Smith, the shimmy was good. Second one okay, but the handball not so good. Towed away from Core.
Yeah, well hit.
Smart. Devon Smith to Davis.
He's had a great...
Oh, the umpire in the way of Shaw. Been a few Shaws over time that would have liked to have run into
come on, take that back. You hear from the lawyers.
Dance step from Callum Ward. Thinks about the long bomb. Haynes. And he sits it up for Mumford. Can't get there. Mumford and Cameron collide, and Cameron's now down. Whitfield on his left.
And Dwayne, you see Ryan Griffin in the background there. He's re-entered this game. He still looks a bit proppy, but he's ran that corky out somewhat.
Crutch. Cameron again goes hard on Laidler.
He's put the shoulder into Laidler there, Cameron.
Might be a few cookies by the end of this. Franklin hard. Patfull right with him. Good attack again from Ward to Haynes. Scully turned his opponent inside out. Needs to find a chest. Goes for the goal square. Palmer. He let it roll. All the way home.
Well left from Reece Palmer in the end, but see Jeremy Cameron, he's out on his feet. Start with, he nearly got cleaned up by his teammate and Shane Mumford, just an errant elbow from his teammate, and then he puts the tackle on Jeremy Laidler, and the head hits there, but some really good work. Scully was able to turn his opponent around. A mistake from the Sydney Swans player allowed him to get over the back, but importantly, he put the ball under the wing and attacked the 50-metre arc and executed the shot nicely. Good work from Tom Scully. Got around his opponent and kicked truly. Just the what the Giants needed, just to bring it back within 6 goals.
They haven't banked the 4 points just yet. The Sydney Swans. Bouncer inside 50. Reece Palmer fights hard. Dragged down by Laidler. New South Wales Derby or Showdown. I know there's been a few throwing Battle of the Bridge up over the course of their short history together, these two teams, but it hasn't really stuck. And I'll tell you what, they keep producing contests like this, and the rivalry will evolve.
I'm sure the Sydney Swans are a massive fan of Battle of the Bridge. I feel they've got some fans out in the West, but it is a rivalry that will grow, and that's as the Giants mature, and they've certainly shown enough last year and certainly tonight, and the game's not over yet.
You can't invent or manufacture history, but it's just starting to get a little tighter between these two teams in every game, and as we saw last year, GWS did steal their first, and can they steal this one? That would be the biggest moment in their history if they were to come from 35, 38 down. Treloar, Shield feeds it back. Bug, Shield, and they still believe. Grundy front spot. A little toe off the deck, but it should be coming back. Reed turns it over. Mumford.
Oh, well held
Palmer goes for home. Goal umpire doesn't move.
That was outstanding work. I mean, across half-back as well. But Shane Mumford had the opportunity to bash the handball out as a first option. He held the ball back and then weighted it in front of Reece Palmer. Really good work. We'll just see here, Mumford takes possession after the turnover. Some good work. This is the build-up. Good transition. Mumford looks to go, but holds it back, allows Palmer to find space. And Palmer, exactly as Scully did a couple of minutes beforehand, attacked the 50-metre arc and kicked long. Great work from Reece Palmer, and probably more importantly from Shane Mumford to put him into space.
The other thing, 2 centre bounce clearances. He's been on top early in this quarter, and now he's up against Tippett. Kurt Tippett, who's playing nearly 50-50 ruck at the moment this season.
Hanbury dives in. There's still 22 GWS players there that believe they can win this one.
Fumbles.
Devon Smith breaks free. Spears to half forward. McCarthy went for the chest mark. Knocked down Jetta. Richards with the 1-2 with Jetta. And Lloyd into space. They need a nerve settler right now. Barry.
Sorry, Dwayne. Jeez, Jetta's been damaging. He was obviously outstanding last week. 14 disposals, but he's had 520 metres gained.
Zach Heaney hasn't played in a loss yet. Just 2 games, 2 wins. 97-70. Bug. Will flick on. Canelio works. He gets it back from Green. No one to go to. That was clever. Scully just out of his reach. Jetta goes to ground. Takes Scully with him. They've got the numbers. Whitfield. Canelio. Can he finish the deal? It's growing, this one. There's some heat in this kitchen.
Again, work rate. Just the players getting involved. Whitfield involved. Scully and Canelio had the poise and composure to finish off. This is the run-off halfback. Good handball into space. Knock on into space. Green's handball worked extremely well. Now, this is a good contest from Scully. The ball didn't hit the target, but didn't give away the free kick to Jetta, but taps it out in front of Whitfield, who executed a beautiful handball, and the follow-up from Canelio from that last half-back stoppage was fantastic.
And this is the kind of thing real rivalries grow from.
It doesn't hurt that they thought they'd recruited Buddy Franklin as well, but he went down to the neighbours down the road.
And the ball up, Tippett into the ruck. Franklin forward, gathers, flicks it on. Heaney, young gun, bang! Got the kick away. Now the goal, took himself out.
That is fantastic work from young Isaac Heaney. At a number of occasions during a game, he looks like he's hurt and he's probably winded. Hopefully that's all it is. But you take the contact. You know you're going to get the contact. On this occasion, it wasn't so much from the opposition, but the goalpost. But you take the contact to make sure that you execute the skill properly. And he's done that really well there. He knew he was going to get hit. Might have some sore ribs for a few days.
Oh, that hurts.
Isn't he wrapped around that goalpost?
That's a bit of whiplash, isn't it, in the base of the spine? Like it could have been a lot worse than that.
Yeah, the spine's not built to go that way too far.
The other thing too, Buddy and Isaac Heaney, haven't they worked together pretty well? The goal assist between them.
They're looking ominous together. Heaney, by the way, has 4 goals. And he hasn't got a NAB Rising Star nomination yet. You reckon he might sneak one?
I wouldn't think there's any rush.
No.
He'll be right.
Jack hacks it forward. Heaney stands under it. Ward down to Treloar. Back to Callum Ward. Back to Treloar. Patfull. Kelly. Devon Smith. Patfull.
Good hands again.
Great poise here. Mumford.
Treloar's kept going off half back.
And I think this is his 4th effort in this string of play. He's trying to get it out.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's done everything he possibly could, but couldn't get the left arm away.
His heart rate's going at about 220 a minute.
He's gone.
He knows too. He knows just the situation. When the fumble comes in, and at this level you're going to pay.
Reed gathers his own crumb. Kennedy. Cunningham. Bird. Over the head of Franklin. Patfull. What does he want to do here? Does he want to take it out?
And the natural instinct was to get it over the line. And see Dan Hanbury sit down for a spell and continues the average for the season. He's had 28 disposals so far. And worked extremely well with one goal as well.
Griffin, good to see him up and running again. Whitfield.
Gee, that's a great kick. That is a kick of a star of the future, boys.
Scully. He needs to hit Cameron.
Oh, that's a good kick too, and good hands.
And they still believe GWS. 27 points the margin. McCarthy kept it in front. Won himself a free. Play on to advantage. Kick inside 50. Crunch. Devon Smith knocked down. No free. Laidler. Cunningham. Might just take a bit of time off the clock here. Slow it down. Pike. Not normally a kicker.
He's got Bird running into space.
You want him to kick down the line.
Long.
And he does. Now Towers is now on and outmarked by Patfull, so they've jumped with their sub.
Yeah, and Heaney's put the vest on, so maybe after that goalpost incident, he's a little bit dusty.
I think the goalpost came off worse. He looks okay, Heaney, which is great news. Good applause for the man who's only played 3 games, but he's a local product, Isaac Heaney. In fact, New South Wales boy in the local town that he played football with in his junior career. The opposition coaches in those junior games just simply had the game plan, kick it away from the kid with the blonde hair.
He looks pretty relaxed there and pretty happy with his output for the night.
Back into play. Hanbury. Through Kelly's legs. They are tiring though. 27 points.
In the elite junior games that Champion Data have covered, that Isaac Heaney has played in, he's never kicked 4 goals. So if you're going to ever kick 4 goals, you might as well start it at AFL level at SCG.
The crowd have really appreciated his 3rd game. Big smile on his face. Massive future. And when he came up on the big screen here, huge round of applause rang around the SCG. Hanbury. Jack, speaking of local products. Haynes stands under this.
Well, against great sides, you find out things, and Dylan Shields going to find out that he's going to be sat on a lot this year because he's in brilliant form, or was in the first 2 weeks. But at the moment, he's only had the 12 possessions, averaging 27 over the year, so he'll get that attention most weeks.
Rowan to Lloyd to Franklin. Bounced off his chest.
Lockie Whitfield, 31 disposals. He's been very good for the Giants on the outside. He's big Bud just steaming. I think he laid a claw on that one, bounced off the chest.
He does that a lot, doesn't he, Bud? Trying to take the chest mark instead of in his hands, but it probably is a bit slippery at the moment.
Bug shrugs. Franklin.
Good tackle.
Lays the tackle. Bird, Franklin, bang. He's hard to tackle. Did the 360. Got away with it. Davis dives in. McVeigh. Hanbury on the left. 48 out.
Well, they're going to do some fast play from the kick-ins now. They've got to get some straight down the corridor, know that it's in plan, or even Mumford go to that centre square and just belt the ball on. We've got to take this on now.
Unusual to see a Shaw wrestling with Buddy Franklin on that occasion.
Oh, mistake here.
Haynes will flick on. Treloar. They are taking it on. Cornelio. Green. He wants to run. Shield. Scully. He worked hard there to get that, and he got paid the mark, even though he put it to grass. Cameron lurking inside 50, ignored. Treloar. That might work. Green.
Oh, kick.
Oh, good kick.
Oh, through Whitfield's hands. Smith.
He's had a great game, Devon Smith.
He shook them off. Went for goal. Just misses to the near side.
Lockie Whitfield has had 10 score involvements. It probably should have been a goal to him with a nice mark, but it ended up a point to Devon Smith. But he's been an outstanding player, up to 31 now.
Do you get a score involvement if you go from your own fumble?
Yeah, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So you give it to yourself.
Well, you fumble it and then go back and get it. And you get the double.
There's a lot of stats out there, Dwayne.
Absolutely.
Just can't always comprehend what they mean.
7.5 minutes left.
Well, Devon Smith's, boys, and I think he's been better than Whitfield. I know Whitfield's been great, but he's had 15 contested possessions. He's kicked his 2 points and could have kicked a couple of goals. I think he should have with 30%. But they're both very good young players.
Jack. Hanbury to Lloyd. Canelio.
He's found his niche too, hasn't he, Lynchy? Canelio across our back. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, the depth of midfield talents, you're going to see these players as they mature drift out to half-backs, half-forwards. They need some of these elite junior midfielders to be the ball distributors off half-back in the future.
Yeah, he was a pick 2 as well. Canelio. Oh, he was pushed out, Reid. Well, he played for it, perhaps, according to the umpire. Stripped, Wilson. Goes back again, still in trouble. GWS's 2 wins so far this year against St Kilda and Melbourne. So they're facing a lot better opposition here than they've had in the first couple of weeks for their wins. But they've shown something today that's rather impressive against the team that finished 2nd last year. Jack flicked out. Devon Smith stole it back. Treloar. Shield.
Jetta's down, holding his left knee. Now, I'm not sure it's as severe as it looks, but he's just getting to his feet. And he was grabbing that left knee. So hopefully, it's, again, just a corky more than anything else. I think what we have seen from the Giants today, it was similar to the first 2 rounds where they've let the game slip at stages. They've been punished tonight. They got away with it in the first 2 weeks. They haven't got away with it tonight.
Yeah, they were lucky last week to get back into it. Mind you, they were good enough to kick 13 in a row. It's not lucky to kick 13 in a row, but they were terrible early in that. And if they can produce some 4-quarter efforts this year, not have 10-minute lapses mid-quarter, it's hard to know where they could finish, how high they could go.
Well, they'll beat some very good teams over the course of the season.
Oh, no doubt.
It's just as long as they put away the teams they should beat, and yeah, they can push right up there towards the top 8.
It's a snowball effect. They start winning some games, playing like this, they'll win a lot of fans. Scully to McCarthy.
Over his
He's got
shoulder.
3.
Well, the 2 lapses were in the first quarter. It was just from rebound from halfback where they at about the 15-minute mark. In the second quarter was where they turned the ball coming out of the back line and gave 3 goals back.
That's right.
So there are things you can get over and understand in the game, which is for Leon Cameron is probably easy to see, to teach.
There's a free kick against Grundy. Oh, he looked to give that off, McCarthy. Changed his mind.
Can't get that to work back for him. So played 6 times before this. Sydney with 5 wins. The Giants with the 1 famous win last year. But the margins in the Sydney wins are getting a lot closer.
Have you picked anything out of the Sydney Swans? Another good, workmanlike performance. They're just so professional. I look at Kurt Tippett as a forward. His form up forward's not great. And Sammy Reid again, where's he best played? And he just needs to do more in a game.
Again, I think it's timing to both. And today is another game they've been able to get under the belt of both players. The thing that stands out, and they're not reliant on it, that's for sure, but they're not marking the ball in the forward 50, the Sydney Swans. Buddy Franklin's a very, he's your forward utility right up the ground. He's not reliant on marks, but that's something they're not reliant on at the moment. But it's a lot easier if you can take a few grabs and convert those opportunities rather than relying on general play.
Well, Tippett's taken 3 for the night. We haven't seen him kick a goal. I'm looking at Sammy Reid. Sammy Reid's only taken 2 for the night. Hasn't touched the scoreboard. So, yeah, their situations are, where they're not informed, but they are still winning. They're going to go into the 4th round with 3 wins and no losses. So it's a good start to the year.
Parker hands to it. Bird breaks free. Kennedy. It's the behind post. So the Swans next week play Fremantle. That's at the main stadium. So 2 of the form teams of the competition head-to-head there, Sydney and Fremantle. And Greater Western Sydney would like their chances against the Gold Coast at Skoda. Gold Coast, you would think, would be without Gary Ablett again.
They've got a big task tomorrow. Gold Coast taking on Geelong, down at Geelong.
Bird. Franklin.
There's a mark inside forward 50. There's a big hand in the chest and just pushed Joel Patfull away. And that is a really good contested mark. All the strong work was done in the lead-up.
I'm glad the umpire played that a mark and not a free kick for an early push. Let's see how early it was.
That's a great contest between 2 strong.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd love that because a lot of times that brought back memories of Jason Dunstall at his best. And you too, Lynchy used to do that.
You
cheat when you could.
He's kicked 4 goals so far, Lance Franklin. Franklin's kicked 4 goals, 5. He's looking scary good for the rest of the year, Lance Franklin. He's started the season in awesome form. Treloar. 27 points the margin. Whitfield. Canelio. Devon Smith. Oh, took on Franklin. Not such a great idea. Gets it back. Palmer. It'll be game 100 for him next week. Finally gets there. It's been a longish road. Callum Ward in the back. So he'll have that kick again from that spot.
Well, he's tried his heart out, Callum Ward. Just know that he just works so hard. Works really well with Mumford at centre bounce clearances around the ground. Runs hard. Just doesn't seem to tire, this bloke. He's been a great get as their captain.
Yeah, unlucky not to be All-Australian last year. Ultra reliable.
Kicking can be a bit sloppy at times, Dwayne, but he'll probably kick this now.
Yep.
Like that.
There you go, sure.
That happens.
That's just for you.
I'll take it on the chin.
Let's have a look at the Giants' next 4 weeks, and they'll be backing themselves in against any opposition. They're just going to make sure they sustain it. So Gold Coast and then the West Coast Eagles at Domain Stadium in Perth, Hawthorn at Spotless, and then Carlton in round 7 at Etihad Stadium. So some winnable games there, but just got to sustain the effort. At Sydney Swans and John Longmire there next month. Freo, as you said, Dwayne, massive game in Perth. Western Bulldogs at the SCG, Melbourne at the MCG, and then Geelong out at ANZ Stadium. Whoever comes up against the Sydney Swans are going to have their hands full, that's for sure.
Umpire didn't recall that bounce. It was a contest anyway. Bug. Shimmy from Shield. Rowan used some strength. Whitfield with Lloyd. To Shield. Kelly. Treloar. Tired but still fighting on. The Giants. Canelio to half forward. Callum Ward. Grundy somehow found it in his lap. Shaw. Maurice Shaw. Another win over younger brother today.
Rampy's
Kelly.
2 behind play lane.
Another sort of play. That might be a corky as well.
Fremantle are being enjoying the corkies. Towers got the pass to Reid. He heads to Franklin, and he can put some icing on this.
This is the one that Barry Hall called at the other end of the ground.
You're right behind it, Baz.
I think he'll pull this one right, unfortunately, boys.
You jumped off.
Well, the odds are pretty good, aren't they? I hope he kicks this, Baz.
Yeah, he usually starts these right, fades it back left. Not the natural swing for a left footer.
It's coming back. It's coming back. He is worth the price of admission alone.
No doubt.
5 goals for Franklin.
Well, that just shows that Barry Hall fluked the first one.
Oh, sure, come on.
And Baz is pretty flat. He's gone all in first up.
Yeah.
And banked it.
And doubled up.
Good to see Sam Reid get involved. He's spent the later stages of this game in the forward half. Got back off the mark quick and very got forward momentum to make that pass over 35 metres. That is an outstanding kick, and he's such a dynamic player. 10 shots for goal, 5 goals, 5 for Buddy Franklin, and he's getting it done up the field and in front of goals. Just having a chat to Heath Shaw. Just about how he's going, I think. 10 shots. A bit running with Joel Patfull. So I'm going all right.
1 minute from time. Mumford. Scully. Green. Sits that on Haynes a little. Off hands. Cameron. And he gets one back.
Well, that's the way I like to see him kick some goals too, not just in marking contests on the lead, but working hard to get front and centre. He's had a quiet since that first quarter. Kicked 1 goal, 3. There's the top 5 scorers on the field at the moment. 5 goals, 5 to Lance Franklin. Isaac Heaney's kicked the 4. He kicked 3 before half-time, a bit quiet in the second half. Reece Palmer's done a really good job for his team, and Jeremy Cameron just finishes off. 2 goals, 3 for the game.
Just struggled to get into the game, Jeremy Cameron. We've seen that again in round 1. Didn't have a lot of the ball, but kicked 4 goals. 5 shots at goal, though. It's a handy night out, but just not a lot of ball.
Pike rips it out of the air. Jetta. Good attack from Mumford on McGlynn. Jetta goes again. Left it behind. Whitfield, Treloar, Green. McGlynn down behind play. Hopefully he's okay. He's up. Good work right there. Fresh man on from Wilson. Cameron, can he get there? No. Rowan, front spot. 21 points the margin. Siren sounds. The Sydney Swans undefeated. After 3 rounds, the 2015 AFL season. The Greater Western Sydney Giants have not lost any admirers in New South Wales after this performance. In fact, they may well have won a fan or 2, even though they didn't win the game. The Sydney Swans prevail 16-15, 111 to 12-18, 90.
Yes, they're not far away, are they, the GWS Giants? 21 points is the margin, but Sydney threw absolutely everything at them, and they responded. And as I say, they're getting closer all the time. Let's have a look at the scorecard very, very quickly. How impressive was Buddy? 5 goals, 5. Isaac Heaney, 4 straight. And Luke Parker kicked a couple of gems, one in particular. 16-15, 111 to 12-18. Reece Palmer booted 3 for the GWS Giants. Whitfield and Hanbury both amongst the leading disposal getters. Another big game is at the Gabba tonight. Brisbane playing host to the Richmond Tigers. And here come the Tigers. You can watch this game in its entirety on 503. Is the Richmond wagon going to roll on, or can Brisbane turn their early season slump around and return to the winners list again? For the first time, we're going to be joined by Jack Riewoldt on the couch on Monday night here on Fox Footy at 8:30. As I say, it is his first appearance, so really looking forward to that. The Tiger Spearhead. Port Adelaide and North Melbourne at Etihad Stadium. This will be a full house, and this should have the makings of a really good game. One late change for North Melbourne. Daniel Wells is out of the side. No change for Port Adelaide. Archie is the sub. Jacobs, who came in for North, is the sub for the Kangaroos.